In today's episode, we will discuss all types of nail extension templates that Indigo has in its range. We'll show you the differences between them and explore the secrets of all the lines that are on each form. What are they for? How do you use them? We'll find out today. Hi, my name's Connie, and this is a channel dedicated to the art of nail styling. In today's episode, you'll find out all there is to know about extension templates. Maybe it's all super obvious, but maybe you'll soon discover some crucial aspects you've had no idea about. Well, let's just see. It might seem that a form is a form, nothing to write home about. That's certainly not the case, because if it was, we wouldn't have created 4 different ones, and each one serves a different purpose. They differ in individual features, and it's super important to us that not only their creator, the artist, aka us, knows about them, but most importantly, so does our client. Every stylist who works with these templates, because we've created them to speed up and simplify your work. Thanks to these templates, you'll be able to create fashion and salon nails, as well as everyday stylings, and more special extreme designs too. In fact, let's take a look. This is what all the form types look like. First up, we have the classic forms, which come in 2 quantity variants, 500 and 200 pieces. Next up, we have classic forms in a transparent version, mini forms with a thin layer of aluminium, and extreme forms dedicated to the creation of avant-garde shapes. Classic purple forms are traditional paper forms. They are thin, elastic, and easy to roll. When rolled, they hold the created shape very well. They are coated with very strong glue, which means they won't come undone while you work. Measuring from the very top of the form to the end, the full length of the form is 60 mm. The working length is 32 mm. The widened auxiliary grid makes it easier to work on bigger or wider nails. The difference between sizes is 3 mm, making it easier to adjust the form to the desired nail length. In addition, the clearly marked arches are helpful when cutting the form down to fit the natural nail plate. They also help you to apply gel when extending the nail into an almond. The 2 red lines by the egg are helpful for cutting the form for a nail plate with a straight free edge. The additional red lines will come in handy when spreading the product for avant-garde shapes. The lines marked from the egg to the edge of the form will help you build a stiletto in varying thicknesses. The lines, however, running from the side of the grid are there to help you with shapes in which the free edge runs at a 45-degree angle. For example, edge, pipe, Russian almond, and Gothic almond. The forms have square edges to allow for easier closing. Some forms available on the market have rounded edges, which makes it harder to close them under the finger symmetrically. And we all know that symmetry in the closing of the form is key to achieving a straight tunnel so that the nail is constructed correctly. We're not talking about aesthetics here, although nobody would want a crooked nail, but more about safety. A well-constructed, symmetrical nail will be a lot more resistant to damage and breaking in comparison to one that is uneven. The perforations by the wings give us control over the firmness of the close, for example when setting up a template for a square shape. The side cut and wave shape on the bottom of the form allow for a more controlled grip on the form when adjusting it to the nail's free edge. The egg stiffens the entire form. Thanks to the lines applied to it, it can be used to extend the form while cutting out the arch for the free edge. It will also come in handy when extending the form for extra long nails. Another type of stencil is the transparent plastic form. Because they are transparent, they let the UV light through the bottom too, making it easier to cure highly pigmented gels. White and coloured ones, as well as cover gels. They are identical in shape to the classic purple forms. They are the same length, width, and have the same grid and auxiliary lines, as well as perforations on the wings. The same strong glue makes sure they don't come undone whilst you work. The difference is, they don't have additional lines on the egg. They are stiffer than the classic forms, but very thin, which makes them easy to align with the natural plate. Next up are mini forms. Let's compare them to the classic ones. The first difference we see is the length. Remember, the classic forms are 60 mm long and the minis are visibly smaller. They measure 48 mm. They are perfect for short salon stylings. They have 2 wings, not 3 like the full-size forms. They have more pronounced lines for cutting out the egg and salon shapes, almond and oval. Because they are specifically made for short nails, they lack the additional red lines for avant-garde shapes. They have a thin line of aluminium that allows them to better maintain a given shape. When you close them, the tunnel is more pronounced and doesn't expand. Just like the previous forms, this model is also coated with a very strong glue so that the forms stay firmly closed while you work. The last type of forms is rose gold extreme forms. As the name suggests, they are designed for extreme extensions, namely avant-garde shapes. Their overall length is 89 mm. Measuring from egg to perforation is 50 mm, and to the edge of the working space we have a whopping 62 mm. They are wider than other forms in the top section so that they grip the fringe tip better and can hold up a longer nail. They narrow down towards the end to maintain a good working balance. They differ from the classic forms with a side perforation. They are more slanted to take up less space. They have different perforations on the wings and an additional perforation which will allow us to adjust the length of the form to a show design. It can be detached before peeling off the backing paper, keeping all the auxiliary lines. Just like the classic forms, they have a wide grid and white and red auxiliary lines, but the number of slanted lines was increased as there are 4 of them. The forms are enhanced with a thin layer of aluminium to better maintain their shape. This is very useful when creating avant-garde shapes such as Gothic stiletto or edge. We've now seen 4 types of forms. We are the masters of theory. In a moment, we'll move to practice. But first, let me say it one more time. Before any of these forms hit the market, they were tested multiple times over many months by numerous instructors. And we did this to make sure that at the end of the day, you have a form that truly speeds up your work. Hence, the auxiliary lines and all the various aspects we just discussed. Fine. This was the theory, and now let's test them in practice. We place the form under the nail and cut it on the sides. Using scissors dedicated to form cutting, we cut out the egg. We try to cut it in one long motion. Then we place the form under the nail's free edge. We close the first set of wings, then the second and third. It's super important that we pinch them symmetrically. If we stick them shut unevenly, the whole form will skew to one side when placed under the nail, and the tunnel won't match the natural nail shape. It will be asymmetrical. In the case of salon quality shapes, the form is always cut the same. It's important to cut the egg shape very well and perfectly match it to the nail plate. But what do we do in the case of a protruding hyponychium? Then we need to keep cutting deeper and deeper, which could have an impact on the length of the form. So, we're going to show you a simple hack on how to solve this. There are 3 additional straight lines and 2 arches on the egg, a narrow and a wide one. Thanks to these auxiliary lines, you can extend the form upwards. It's very important to perfectly match the lines with the form. Thanks to that, we will end up with pre-made side cuts. We cut along the line and place under the nail. Voila! The form fits perfectly and the fingertip sides are released without the need for additional cuts. Let's get back to the classic application technique. We start by placing the form under the free edge. Thanks to the side arches, you can hold the index finger under the form and the thumb on top of the form to open it up and easily place it under the free edge. The arch at the end of the form lets us push the form closer or change the angle of the form. It's time to start extending the nail into an almond. While spreading the product, we move along the white lines, effortlessly creating a symmetrical shape. Whilst using the extreme form, we focus on the red lines by the egg. Our model's nails have a straight free edge. We cut the form along the first red line, starting from the edge. We place the form under the natural plate and neatly pinch the wings, first under the finger and then up until the very tip. Such a long form can be held with 2 fingers, so it's more stable and we can easily adjust its angle. Pressing the edge of the form with a thumb will allow us to change its direction and make sure it runs straight. Extending a nail into a stiletto, we should use the red sidelines. We place the product on the end of the free edge and layer it along the red lines. Thanks to them, we can create an even, symmetrical shape. We are able to build avant-garde shapes on extreme forms thanks to the thin layer of aluminium, which allows the form to keep our nail in the desired shape. Does it mean these are the only forms for avant-garde shape building? No. You will find useful auxiliary lines on the transparent forms too, and they will help you build, for example, the edge shape. We place the cutout form under the free edge. We close the wings but do not pinch them. We build the structure from the free edge straight along the black lines. We finish the edge of the extended nail along the slanted red lines. This form can also be used to build the pipe shape. So, did we manage to resolve all of your doubts? Do you know which form to pick, how to place it under various nail plates, and how to build the structures for particular shapes? I hope you do. Let us know in the comments below what other products we should test for you in the next episodes. Thanks for watching, and remember, we're here every Wednesday. Bye!